curveball. They've taken it away from Icebox, which they got to see the other day, and moved it onto Haven.
A tough start to the day. Playing with a stand-in here, Fnatic certainly not showing their lock-in form, but, well, that's only on map 1. We've got plenty more to come here, a potential third map of Split, but we'll decide it here on Haven. Whether the series ends or not, BBL mounting their attack side and a very slow start. Just playing the default, Killjoy utility, giving them map coverage, and even the drone down through short. They get a little bit of control. It could be Cutie going for a lurk, going for a pick. Either way, he's being spotted. There's the fight with Durka. He's already tagged up, and now that Sheriff, it's like an op in this man's hands. Cutie's made the right call on backing off.
They did manage to bait a rotation from Boaster, though. So it's at least giving them a little bit of extra space. That was the main goal, of showing themselves early on that A side of the map, showing Cutie there especially as that entry fragger. Now the pressure once again is going to come onto those couple of B players. Stun should slow them down at least a little bit and allow for the rotation.
Well, the pace is up on the side, but just look at Cutie making his way up behind them. The garage play wide open, and they have no idea about it. Cutie's about to have them all, but they've turned at just the right moment. Leo, Spidey senses started to tingle. And that leaves just one, the man of Brave, 26 HP. Not a whole lot of hope, and there's that shock dart coming in, hunting him down. A heat-seeking missile didn't find its mark, but Durka sure did. 1-0 for Fnatic, and another pistol round won by them.
Yeah, a really good hold as well. Just having that stun, getting pretty much the entire team as they go to push in. Sure, you had that lurk play, but it almost just sort of messed up the timing of everything wrapping around. If you have the full team in and then that wrap around, it's probably perfect. Instead, he basically had to kill the entirety of the side. I think also just the majority getting pinged as well within the smoke. That's a round where you just look at that and go, okay, you nailed your utility.
Oh, absolutely. And a good round from Kamek, holding it down. He was managing to find some wall bank shots as well on the Ghost. Passive play around that C site. And, well, they did well, even despite rotating one player over to A, falling for a quasi-fake. This time around, Fnatic making their way up through A long. Looking to get in behind them quite early. And that space taken, the space denied inside of mid. Now the problem is window push that we talked about all the way up through A, and that pretty much ends the round where it is. 1 kill. Anything else would be great, but it won't be found.
Yeah, last time around on the previous map, they did a lot of damage in this round, and instead, well, all they've dropped in the end is a Marshal. It was the main rifles that were kept in hand. Durka even farming up some extra orbs as well, which will help them going forward. So this is a much more dangerous round for the side of BBL. Not looking like an easy start for them just yet. No real orbs garnered either. So in their Logitech G power-up round, they're going to have to, well, I guess be a little bit more tentative of what Fnatic have to offer.
And look at how much cash they're saving. The credits on Fnatic looking healthy with the light shield investment. Of course, when they're up against 5 Vandals, you know it's going to be all rifles, at least.
Where's he going?
You can feel pretty comfortable. Dirk is already in their spawn. In through the window on the dash, but he's decided to back off. I think that was a play supposed to catch them off guard, but they very much have the information at this stage. Time to bail out.
Oh, he killed Timmy. That's not very nice. Yeah, I like that they have the little sort of backup utility just to allow him to escape. It looks incredibly risky, but there's definitely a plan at hand. Again, pressure being put in onto that C site. Kamek, in fact, not even going to battle for it. Realizing this time around he doesn't have that same sort of support, and I feel like Leo almost peeked out expecting there to be no one there, so it doesn't even get anything other than the information.
At this stage, Fnatic are very much forced into playing the retake, and it's going to be a lot of long-range angles to fight on. A lot of disadvantages for them. Boaster especially coming in with a stinger, and well, Kamek and Durka don't last too long. A quick double. The man who stayed on site gives his life in a well worthwhile trade. And you have to think here, you know, what do they have to even make this possible? You have one single smoke there, but the shock darts are on their way, and that is going to deal with Boaster this time. Everyone else falling. Very nicely handled by BBL, and only losing the one player for what was a very good disruptive play.
Well, that's the thing. It was basically the rest of the team sat in their post plant and still having shock darts, stuns, pulls to basically remove people from the spike, and then Kushner, it's the role you want him in. You go, your job, and he goes, yeah, your job, okay, is to push and kill them, and Kushner goes, that's my favorite.
I love that job.
That's what I love to do. He even just waits a little bit of time off the aftershock. That is enough for me to go, okay, that's a player that knows his timing. Because most people swing and instantly get headshot. He was patient.
It's certainly been something to take away from the games over on BBL was their patience, and just unbelievable seeing that previous map. I want to see how much more. they've got left in the tank. That buy round before, very good, but now, you know, one of the main things we highlighted on the previous map is a changing point, that operator in the hands of Durka. It's on the other side of the map, though. Okay. Instead, it's Kamek with a Stinger, the cheapest weapon by far that they have to work with, and it has done work.
Yeah, and it's got rid of Kushner as well. That makes this entry into the site, the flash and dash not really available. Again, though, Fnatic have somewhat given them that space for free. Don't have any ultimates to find a way back in, but the shock darts are always going to cause them issues.
He changed
Second one expected, but he moves it to the other spot. Oh, it must be a nightmare playing against Leo, genuinely.
That's so close to taking him down as well. The old shock darts would have had him gone in a heartbeat. Nice angle for Brave. He's running back, making all that noise. This is such a huge bait. If you're Boaster, you know that guy's back towards the site now. Why do you even check the corner on the way through? And well, you better hope he does, or oh, it could come down to the timing. Actually, the other player is left. Boaster's got perfect timing on the lurk. They don't think he's here. He's got a chance. Durka and Boaster left. They know exactly where Turco is. All they have to do is win the fight, and the op is drained in on the angle. Very well handled by Fnatic in the timing. I thought Boaster was dead to rights, but the patience paid off.
Yeah, that seems to be the sort of word on our lips quite often in this series. Just basically waiting for the remaining players to move. Careful that there wasn't going to be anyone left behind. Because if he gets caught there, it comes down to a 1v1 with Durka and an operator. That's a very, very different scenario to try and come back from. They're going to get themselves that 3-1 lead. And financially, it's actually still not bad for BBL. They managed to keep that last one squeaky clean. And again, they're getting towards some of those ultimates being online. And maybe there's a chance for them to sort of sneak their way through this round.
Well, BBL actually stacking up very early on A. This is going to be heavy aggression, but they've left a player still out. You know, Brave playing towards the seaside or garage. They were wanting to leave their options open. Those options just got closed up a little bit. That pick from Durka, dashing on out of there as well. No chance to trade it.
It's just annoying because they knew he would try and do that. They had a nano swarm thrown down that he just runs all the way through, holds the angle, and then dashes back through it again. He's ended up low on HP. Flash is good. Kushin is just going straight through into the back of sight. He's going to get executed for it. And well, finally, Brave, he's managed to get two back.
What?
This was looking like a really rough round for them, but he thinks that Leo's within the smoke, and instead, he's still sat back on site. He's going to get pinched, though, and doesn't manage to get anything more. Luckily, the trade's thick and fast, leaving Turco to try and fight this both players stunned, but unfortunately, well, the stun ain't quite that strong.
And they got the one taps out, and when there's two of them as well, just is so much of a harder fight to take. 4-1, op saved over in the hands of Durka. Ultimate's coming online, but when I look at BBL side, you know, this is a round where I'm not even sure if they're going to use Kushner's ulti. I feel like you do just pop the Blade Storm. A lot of ults are coming online for them. I think like it's not unrealistic to imagine having 5 of them coming out of this round. So if I'm assuming that he's going to be popping Blade Storm, that is literally their hope for the round. Attack side with these Sheriffs, very, very difficult to find value.
Get out of my way.
Yeah, if they can find themselves something,
Turco's
maybe they get
60.
into an afterplant. Turco could have a Rolling Thunder. Like, there's plenty of opportunities in this round, but it does revolve around them getting into an afterplant and having some sort of star.
I think Leo might just have had that shock dart ready for Turco's stun, for where he was stunning from. Like, he was outside of A main, whether it was just to catch players outside A main or not, I'm not sure. But catching players outside of C main, well, that's certainly Brave's game. He's caught one, grabbed the rifle, Hunter's Fury fired out, desperately trying to find anything. The op for Durka, sure, it finds one, but these are pistols here. Now they've got space, and they've got Durka! Cutie just delivering again and again.
This is a round that shouldn't have been particularly competitive, but a single kill for Brave, and then again, Kushner being able to find space has made this one very interesting indeed. I think he actually moved off the back of his own teammates' Rolling Thunder, oh no, sorry, Hunter's Fury even. And that gave enough of a disruption. Again, these shock darts just doing filthy amounts of damage. Boaster through the smoke has managed to even it up. It's still looking pretty good for Fnatic, as again, it gets equalized, but still, this spike is ticking.
It sure is. The time is low. The flank is great. Brave might have an angle. They need to make sure it's not being diffused right here and now. That flash good. Cutie under pressure, and the swing catches him off. Oh, no! Brave! That could have been the round in their hands. A simple whiff, and it cost them everything. 5-1.
Yeah, look at where Leo is. Look at where Leo is.
No
He's
way.
all the way down
No
long.
way.
That would have been the round. It was well played. That's the unfortunate thing for BBL. And we mentioned this in the last map. They were winning all of the clutches.
Yes.
Like everything was going their way in terms of these last second rounds, the 1v2 that came out from Cutie with the Blaze Storm. Like these are all moments that maybe they should have lost. This is one they should have won. In that sort of scenario, getting into that 2 versus 2, both passive, the time ticking, and Brave knows it. 5-1 advantage now for Fnatic.
He was still 85 HP as well. That's the thing. It wasn't close. That is gooding if you're the player on the other side, but
Here.
got to power through it. Up on Durka, it's been so dangerous, and he spotted a lot of targets here. I mean, even the utility going down there, shock darts to force him out of the corner, and he missed. Now down to 17 HP, even dashing out of there isn't going to be for free. Not going to be a guaranteed survival, and a shock dart landed before Cutie did. 5 versus 3, BBL back with a vengeance and taking every single duel.
And this was a stack up of players. Now, Boaster, the only one that remains, and even with a cheeky angle in the smoke, it's not going to be anything. Kamek left with a lockdown and a rifle to be held, especially with both just so low on credits. It's actually imperative that he manages to keep that into the next.
It's really, looking at some of these rounds from BBL, you get 2 different faces of the team, you know? And in that previous round, sure, there's a couple whiffed shots, everything like that. No pause. They come in, they just roll it back, run it back, and well, the straight up A works. I don't expect we're going to see that again and again. You know, Durka missing the opening shot on the operator after they'd had the players stuck in the corner, shock darted them in. That isn't going to happen every single time. But the key thing is when it does happen, and every time it has happened, even looking back at Ascent, when those mistakes are made, Kushner punishes every single time. It is the consistency that he's showing here, beyond impressive.
A round that Fnatic are definitely going to want to forget. But that's the thing I like about BBL. I feel like they have this in their locker to go for some earlier on, and then just go for these all-out firefights. Like, go aggressive, get up in your opponent's faces, put them under pressure. That was how they worked in the afterplants in the last map. Was, okay, we're in a scenario where they're going to basically crunch in on us. Let's push them. Let's fight them. Let's get the fists out and basically just obliterate them while they have a good setup. Because that's the thing, again, Fnatic's setup was a good one. They had the right people in the right places. I think another shock dart from Leo that did like nearly 100 damage was hitting a couple of players. So, and again, they're putting the pressure on Durka. They're trying to make him crumble. In fact, though, Fnatic have thrown out a Rolling Thunder. A counter comes in on the other side, but he's still surviving within it. Just diving around his own smoke, somehow still alive, and eventually falls, but the trades are coming in thick and fast. Fnatic, this time, you're seeing the other side of the coin.
Oversight as well. Your breach still being here. The Rolling Thunder was used. You know he's got to be in the AO, and they spot one player out on long. Maybe assume that both are going to be fighting that angle. Either way, caught off guard on short. That's another man lost. And BBL, 2 versus 4, low HP on Suchini. And these guys, they've spotted them. You know, this all the information here to play with for Fnatic. If you're BBL, it has to be a god-tier performance coming out of probably Aslan. Like, he's got a lockdown, but you're also not going to be looking to use that in these sort of scenarios. At least I don't imagine you would.
No, unless it gets later into the round, or maybe they manage to find a pick. The problem is they're slowly being surrounded. Players have managed to get in on the flank, avoid the turrets that sits back. So they're still completely unaware that they are getting in on the flank. It doesn't matter. If these players continue to push, they have absolutely no idea. And Leo is just selling a perfect bait. The shock darts didn't even matter at that point. Aslan at least turns it into a 1 versus 2, but I don't even think he knows that there's 2 players on the same angle. What? How does he manage to get both? Fnatic played that to perfection. That is ridiculous.
They did everything by the book. Every step of the way, it looked like they were in control, just seconds away from closing it. A shock dart came close to putting it into a 1v4.
No way.
And for Aslan, the step up like that,
my God.
A firing squad waiting for him, and he just needs 2 bullets. Unbelievable. BBL, that is a lifeline. You know, Fnatic could have went running away with this. Instead, we're back to a very close scoreline with Fnatic on a low buy.
He checked heaven. So in my mind, he didn't
know that they were both there.
I was just pure reactions from Aslan.
Do you know that's probably the one time if they don't play it together, they win? If one guy baits on long, he's going to be like, oh, the other guy's in spawn, probably, I guess.
Take flight.
So unfortunate if you're Fnatic. At least this isn't happening when they're already down as bad as they were on the previous map. This is workable, functional. The push in towards C, there's 4 players here, and BBL have no idea of the presence that exists on the other side of that smoke.
It's still a passive hold from Aslan. He might be able to catch Durka, but he's being a bit more patient. A quick trade, not a bad one. Again, Fnatic keeping this one relatively even with a few weaker weapons is not a bad spot to be in. Chronicle just spamming away with the Guardian, has managed to find a multi-frag. And again, they need a hero. They need Aslan to find everything he can. The flank's still coming through. Again, they're split. He expects it, but doesn't manage to land the shots this time. Just looking for Durka, and he can't quite win it out. Unfortunate for BBL, they walk directly into the trap.
We've seen it again and again. They're Fnatic. You know, the round before they had played to win. They played it right. They lost it. And you see the same level of respect given to their opponents here. The reveal, the spams coming out. But more importantly, it's when it's in that 2v1. Neither of those players is looking to overextend and give him that chance to fight. Even Durka, he has his teammate ready to swing on the corner once that fight goes down. It's a near impossible scenario. But Aslan got away with one in just the previous round, so yeah. I'm sure it's not comfortable to see that coming through. And a timeout for BBL as they gather themselves. This half, look, it could still get out of hand. 6-3, we're in the home stretch of their attacking side, but if they don't get anything from this point, this map becomes almost impossible when they swap over. Again, Fnatic, when they move to that attack side, I'm expecting it to be a tough battle for BBL.
Oh yeah, they're a fearsome attack side. I think they've got some of the best supportive players, and then you have Durka as the tip of the spear. Like, you expect them to get the majority of their rounds over on that attacking side. So this is already starting to get a bit out of control. I think also the thing for BBL is that a lot of their rounds do come across as almost blips in the pan. Like, you've got that long round where basically everybody's just fighting and they win the duels. They manage to catch out Durka. Then they try the same thing again, it doesn't work. Then you have the round where basically Fnatic look like they should have won it. It comes down to a 1v2 clutch. Aslan wins it for them. These are not rounds that are necessarily recreatable, and losing that last one, well, it puts their finances in an awkward spot.
Yeah, it definitely does. I think helped out by the fact that you have a Blade Storm here. Well, I'm even taking a look, and they've still bought up full rifles, playing the light shields on Kushner, who's been consistent with the Blade Storm in hand. Ult cycle probably allows it to be used here as well, so curious to see what his plans are for the round. He's gone fully in on the investment. Fnatic certainly looking a lot healthier. An early plan here seems to be pressure around mid and A. You know, quite a lot of information being sought out by Fnatic in just those first couple of seconds.
Well, the thing is, the way that this player's looked is the majority get into an afterplant, and then Kushner makes a play through Garage. They've done this before, and he's managed to find quite a bit of space. The thing is, though, the lockdown has been used very early on either side. This won't allow them to get back in. Hunter's Fury being utilized as well, and Kushner, there is that move through the Garage, and they just about destroy the lockdown before anything can be done by Fnatic. A huge early victory for the side of BBL.
Yeah, good having the Hunter's Fury in the back pocket for that duel. Cutie, good fight for him, but Boaster a little bit too clean. Shouldn't have been expecting a player to be quite that elevated. It didn't matter when it came down to the duels. Turk, oh, even through the smoke, tapping away and saving BBL's bacon. They are on 4 rounds now, creeping up on the Fnatic side. And that round win has put Fnatic in, you know, not the best of spots. Despite the fact that their economy was definitely healthier, there are still 2 players that can't afford to buy here.
The thing I like about this is if you watch Kushner's POV in that round, he is full faith that his teammate will destroy that lockdown. Like, he is already pushing all the way through Garage. If that goes off, he is dead. Gone. Like, there is no chance of him getting out of that. And because of that, you see Fnatic's side going, okay, well, we can get a little bit more aggressive, and he catches them. And that's what he's been doing. It's a weird thing to see your Jet lurking through Garage. But he's had so much success. I think there's 3 or 4 times now he's got a kill pushing in that direction. It's something I feel like Fnatic should be prepared for by now.
Well, this is a long round, C-long push out of Fnatic while BBL move for A-long control, leaving their turret and their alarm bot to cover their back. This is going to be an all-out aggressive play towards A. Rolling Thunder in play for Chronicle. could get a little bit dangerous if this is put into play. You're already noticing Breach rotating in. He's now in the spawn, and he's going to be priming that ultimate. Indeed, I see both his hands out. He's starting to cook it. There it is. A big problem now for the players that are on site. Some have managed to evade it down below. Turco hadn't been able to be taken out. He needs support, and that's Cutie rushing through the Cosmic Divide, but Kamek is finding all the kills. Cutie's now known to be in the corner, has to use his dash to get out of there. And burning up that dash leaves him now with practically nothing to work with. He is just a man with legs and a gun, needs to take down 2 players.
They both have frenzies.
Oh, there's one! And the 4th kill now possible, just around the corner, a pixel away. And the baiting of the plant just not gonna pull him out yet. The patience from Boaster. But when he takes that fight, he needs to hit it right away. Did he spot him? There it is, someone called it for him. Someone screamed it out in team comms. He was on your screen a second ago. He knows. Bladestorm popped, he's going for it, and Boaster wins! A frenzy in hand, and a 7th round in his pocket.
I saw his name in lights, that's for sure. To jump around that corner with a Bladestorm, just trying to hit that final headshot. And it's an unfortunate truth that he probably did exactly what Boaster needed. Boaster did not have a gun. That was the thing. The last 2 players in that 1v2 clutch were both sat with frenzies. If that was knowledge that was had by Kushner, there is absolutely no chance he plays the final bits of that round like that. But instead, he's expecting a rifle. He expects something aggressive. And Fnatic, well, this back and forth continues as they'll get another round onto the board.
BBL out for 5 at the half. Check in with ultis that we're going to see. Leo's 1 orb away. Other than that, your Bladestorm for Durka, your Rolling Thunder in the hands of Turco for BBL. Time to put those ultis out, put them to good use for BBL. They might not know about this push coming up A long. You know, Fnatic have been, I'd say they've been prodding that area quite a bit, looking for early control there and on B especially. But last round they came blitzing down C long. You've seen a lot more commitment from BBL to watching that angle, playing the full default. There it is. Just a dry swing out of Durka.
They love it. They keep using that Hunter's Fury to just give him that little bit of space, that little bit of disruption to give Durka an opportunity. And he's stuck around. They might not expect him still to be here. He comes out with 3 kills. No way they were just thinking he would sit around and wait. And well, now, Kushner, 1v4. Good luck.
1 jet down, 1 to go. Kushner falls at the hands of Chronicle. 4 rounds for BBL on their attack side. A fantastic first map out of this Turkish squad, but certainly stalling out a bit here. That said, this is Fnatic's map pick. They came in, they won the pistol round to start out this half as well. So walking out with 8, it's not a terrible surprise. I just worry about BBL on this defensive side. I think Fnatic having the ability to play their map pick, their attack side, set the pace themselves, and unleash Durka on these guys. Plus, you got to say, Kamek, he's doing damn well as a stand-in.
For sure.
I don't know what it is about this team, but they always get the best stand-ins.
I do know what it is about this team. It's Mini.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
give him the credit that he deserves. The man has a list of players, and every single one that he puts into a Fnatic squad is always phenomenal.
Nuts,
and I imagine just every other organization just sits there and going, their 6th man is better than most of our
I'm telling
players.
you, just hack his Google Drive. That's all you need to do, and he's done. Absolutely
I wonder what
done.
else you might find in there. I just want to say Mini is ironic.
All right, well, 8-4, where we left things. And, you know, a couple of questions that we had around this series. Aslan's performance on a Sentinel, I don't think he's been in any way a drag on this team so far. It hasn't looked terribly uncomfortable. I've been liking it. And, you know, this is going to be an adjustment period for him. When you're moving into roles that you're just not used to playing, you haven't got the experience on, and you look uncomfortable, it does sometimes just take the commitment to say, I'm going to keep going, going to keep trying, we'll get there eventually.
I think we're seeing that a lot this season. Players moving away from the roles that we'd sort of write home about.
Like Scream.
Yeah, exactly like Scream. Even Mixwell now playing extra roles. We'll see that in our next series, like moving into more initiator. We've seen switch-ups for pretty much every single player throughout the league at times, just sort of picking up these different roles, trying different things to fit into the structures of these coaches that are being brought into play. So I think it is an adaptation period for many different teams. For Fnatic, maybe less so than others. I would say that maybe you've got Kamek trying to adapt to being in that sort of tier 1 setting, but other than that, these are roles that we've seen them in many a time. The thing I'm going to be interested in is it's sort of, can BBL weather the storm. Because that's the thing, it's like winning that first map, you're ecstatic at the end of it. The rounds that they won in this first half, they were explosive rounds. Like, a lot of them weren't down to me saying, like, okay, they got the structure right, or they got everything right in terms of their creativity, or they managed to isolate players on Fnatic. It was somebody popped off, someone had those moments, and sure, the utility behind it was good, whatever, but that's something you can't consistently do. Now, going into the defense, you know Fnatic are gonna have that. You know that's in their back pocket every single time. So are you able to disrupt what they're about to do?
Well, that's exactly it. We'll see who goes on the back foot first. Fnatic, they won out the previous pistol round. This one here would give them quite a considerable lead.
Oh, no.
The fake on B, but here it is, and a frenzy up that close can be so dangerous. But yeah, the element of surprise, the jump scare catching him off.
But that's the thing. It was just the fact that they threw Durka into that B site. It seemed like an aggressive push early on. And in the meantime, the rest of the team are all just walking down sewers. That was a nasty surprise for Brave, an afterplant. And the worst thing is, Durka is still in mid.
Credit to Brave, though. Even despite that, he did still hit the shot on Kamek. He lit him low. It's going to make it a little bit easier. They've spotted the alarm bot. Free kill. Absolutely free kill. Look at Suchini. He's got him. Hello. Knife out. Easy as they come. Maybe a late flank for him, or he'll be blitz and knife out up to his teammates in spawn. They can take their time now. Wait for him to get back up. Use their full numbers on the way through. Remember, Kamek's still low, and Boaster's down. This is getting scary very quickly. Chronicle not going to last too much longer, and it's only Leo on full HP. Shock darts fired out. Damage could be delivered, but yeah, Frenzy needs to do work. He's the last man standing, but the spike is going off. I think it's so close. Oh, man!
Oh, just about. 0.4 left on the clock. You have to feel like Leo just surviving that split second longer could have done it, but BBL make the retake work, and that's a lifeline. Just getting that through 8-4, that turns 9-4, and you have to feel like this would almost be slipping away from them already. They just about managed to get it done in the retake. Again, just that slight opener, those split seconds. I'm off for Fnatic going into this next round. Not going to be much in.
Yeah.
Vlad's facial expressions just get me.
Oh, a good round to take there for BBL, an injection of rounds they very much needed. Interested to see such an aggressive approach as well from Cutie. He's coming in with a Bulldog in hand, so it's the strongest weapon by far, and is playing extremely close. In fact, you'd almost invert these positions of Cutie and Suchini, at least in terms of the weaponry that they're playing with. Although then you consider that it's Cutie on the other side. So yeah, the problem is now they've got the Bulldog, right? They're going to pick that up, and that's not a fight that you're going to want to take if you're anyone else on this BBL roster, because that weapon is just stronger than what you're dealing with.
Oh dear, this is starting to look a little bit dicey. Another gun dropped to the ground. Brave has at least managed to claim some space, and Suchini is going to send the drone through. We'll spot that they are still likely to be lurking around his angle. A chance for him to maybe hit the timing on the peak, but now they've spotted him. He has to fall back, has to fade away. And we're going to see the weaponry getting juggled over. Given to Chronicle.
Yeah, because he's got the most HP.
2 HP, you know, well, that is the difference maker.
Make sure he can survive that extra, quarter of a bullet if it comes his way from a shorty from the other side of the map through a wall. I've seen it before.
Are they going to clear Brave, though? They know he fell back. They don't know he fell back into the window, though. And this is where he just has the chance to clean up these low HP players. The stun even coming through. Bullets ran out. But he will make it look relatively easy. A scary scenario for BBL, but 3 players alive. They managed to rectify it well.
They got their Bulldog back as well. It was only the Spectre that they end up conceding. Not going to be the end of the world. Or the 2 Spectres, excuse me. Of course, they had a 4 Spectre buy with a Bulldog. A pretty expensive investment, considering what you're bringing into the round. But, well, it was doing work there in that last fight, as you can see. This round certainly has a lot of question marks around it for me, though, in terms of where BBL decide to invest. There's an argument for just diving their economy into this one, but it looks like they are going to play a hard bonus, those 2 players that died. Paying the price now as they just have a frenzy to work with.
Oh, that's so unlucky. The spam mainly being used for mid rather than just that slight push-up. They still managed to claim the control. They even know. They know the aftershock is going to force him out. I think they must have heard him get headshot as he walked through or something, but they definitely had an idea. It's whiffy from Boaster, though. That's a gun into Brave's hand. He's been crisp throughout the game. That is not a gun you want to give away.
Well, Fnatic seem to have the response of just looking to group up and push the site. They still haven't spotted anything moving through C. Their turret and alarm bot were watching for mid. Alarm bot now just behind. And the full blitz met by Suchny, who has a frenzy up in heaven. Lucky to get absolutely anything, and yeah, I'm actually happy to see him play quite so passive. This is the right call, because he swings that angle, he goes down, they have the advantage. And you already have so many other weaknesses as well. It's not like, oh, I just lost the frenzy. You're actually more valuable alive with your knife out than you are dead. It's like, I'd rather him just run around and drag the angle for Turco.
Oh, okay. Almost a double for Durka. This is a round we expect them to clean up. He's left blind, but ultimately it is starting to look very easy from Fnatic in these afterplants. A ninth round, nigh on guaranteed. And again, after a bit of a shaky start for Boaster, the rest of the team managed to clean that up easily. This is, however, where things get more interesting. I'll make the assumption, actually, I thought we might get an operator, just with the amount of, we've seen it invested in the last map from Kushner, but maybe he's going to try and push up here. We saw that in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, he's been pushing consistently, whether it's A long or mid. He just loves to throw out that little bit of aggression. No better time for it as well than in the Logitech G power-up round. We're going to see if he decides to make that blitz down A. It certainly looks like it, and I'm looking at Turco as well, playing close on short. We could have a stun setup here for an early push, and that's exactly what comes through.
Dart shot. He knows there's someone there. The fallback. It's going to clear things up completely, but with the amount of utility that's been thrown in on that A side of the map, Fnatic quickly switch their gaze in towards C. Know there's likely to be some space on this side of the map. Still 2 players, though. And already, stars being thrown down to try and deter the level of aggression.
Well, they're still very much willing to push into this site. Great flash. That puts so much pressure on the backside player of Brave. And Aslan not able to hold the other angle. They both fall, the site falls, and the plant is coming into play. BBL, a tough decision ahead of them, whether to go for this or not even. They need to find a pick soon. If they lost Cutie, that would be a save call, but instead 2 quick kills puts this very much back on the table.
Yeah, 3 different avenues. They're going to clear the flank as well, expecting somebody to be there. Kushner, if he gets the timing right, might have one for free, but instead, now the frags start going back in the other direction. Nothing to be found from Suchny, and Kamik again. He's been having some really high impact rounds, some necessary ones for Fnatic. And now they're going to hit double digits, and as you said, that was the gamble. That was the finances now in real trouble.
Yeah, they are in ruin. And again, we fall back to Blade Storm on QD. It's online very frequently, but it is the only saving grace of this round. We saw nothing from it last time, just thrown away to attempt to clutch out in a 1v1 versus a frenzy. Of course, he didn't have that information. This time around, certainly hoping for a lot more. That scoreline getting ahead more and more in Fnatic's favor. This is an aggressive play yet again. Cutie up in their faces, and that is so unlucky. He had everything set up for him, but the reveal almost baited him in to look the wrong way. Quick kill for Brave, and he's even got some support. 2 players on short. This is perfect, but Kamik, he's caught them with their back turned.
Yeah, he just dives through, sees a spot, sees a chance, and he's going to gift the kill back. Still, Durka low on HP. They still have a couple of players on this side of the map. There is an opportunity here. No weaponry really being picked up on the other side just yet. And Kamik looking to try and reclaim some of that control. They are just fully stacking this side. All in gamble. And Fnatic maybe expecting that there's been some sort of rotation, expecting that someone might have moved away. The fact is, though, Mitch, they're all still here.
The patience on BBL, once again on display. Trades, can they come through? That stun was perfect. Kamik can't see a thing. Oh! The screen was shaking, but somehow he stayed alive. Kamik now, though, meets Aslan, and his share of shots were not missing. That's a thrifty round and an unexpected result for BBL. Once again, it comes down to patient play. I am so thrilled to see this as a consistent factor for BBL, for a Turkish team as well, something we missed in the early days of that scene. And just unbelievable. You know, Winston once said, how you do anything is how you do everything. And I think that BBL, they might have watched some John Wick. They might know what's going on.
They're going to have to fit like Vlad's table with just something to keep it in place.
It's already reinforced, and you know, it's taking the punishment.
Oh, over the top. Durka expects the aggression. It's happened so many times from Kushin and taking that space that now Fnatic make that adaptive read in a round where they already had some vulnerabilities in weaponry, but they are stacked on ults. That is a huge opener. And Durka sniffs a rifle and is going to retrieve that for free.
Interesting, a second ago we saw Turco peek out on short just after the drone faded away. And then they immediately start to back off. Now, with all the information they had, Brave, you know, pushed all the way down C long. I would be surprised, yeah, if they decided to move towards B or C. This is a full stack up yet again, and BBL have great reads. But that's going to be the problem.
Yeah, the only angle they can really hold from is going to be the window.
Wait, what?
Sushni.
He's doing it!
He's going to try and go for a huge play, and it's only going to be one. He delays them at least a little bit, and Turco's actually been caught. So they're not going to be able to act on any of this aggression. They've got themselves a cosmic divide at least, something to get back in, but you look at the afterplant utility. They need to kill off one of these players in this flank.
Brave has spotted that the alarm bot's waiting for him. He tried to make it around it. Not quite so lucky this time. Has to pop the util down. Smoke on short, making his way down long. Backstab though. Great play by Kamek. Good lurk. And just gorgeous all around from Fnatic. Looking clean as they push up to 11.
Yeah, they're slowly making their way out of this one. Again, we've seen blips here and there. We've seen slip-ups versus the sheer individual brilliance of some of the players on BBL. The Pistols managing to take one away in the last round, but it just seems like this time, this map, Fnatic are right back on the pedal almost instantaneously. And that's the thing, getting that opener off the back of Durka, having that cosmic divide to section off some of these players. And that's the thing, they still had a Hunter's Fury and a Rolling Thunder if they needed it. They didn't. So those are going to be brought into the next round. And that's what makes this so troublesome now for BBL is facing off against Fnatic is tough enough. Facing off against them with two high-impact ults, it almost seems impossible.
Yeah, it's definitely around, well, I don't even know. You know, calling the timeout now, it's scary. They've got those ults and they've got a chance to touch in with Mini and figure out how they want to use them. So another aspect for BBL to be scared about walking on into this one. They've got to be practically flawless from this point forward. Defensive side, we said, there's going to be struggles there. But so far, they've been putting up a good fight. Only 4 between them. But I have to wonder, you know, someone like Durka, yeah, he's almost been quiet for a little bit. Feel like he's due a big round.
Is, I guess, quiet maybe for Durka's stats.
Yeah.
He's still like the top fragger in the server.
He hasn't got 3 or a 4K in the last. He's matching frags with the stand-in. You know, that's not Durka. Durka's got 40 kills by now, you know what I mean?
He's basically got to be breaking records, otherwise he's not up to your standards.
I haven't remembered a 3K in the last 5 rounds. You know, that's not normally. No, we're not rolling thundering from there now. Come on. He's gone back to the aftershock, thankfully. Fault line, even.
There you go. Got there in the end.
Yeah, I did.
I gave you the
Proud
time.
of myself.
I gave you the time.
Next time.
Aslan with the Sheriff. It's been pretty good so far. Waiting back, has support. This is where these pistols have been devastating. And again, they kick things off with just so many opening kills. Brave's in a bit of trouble, but he waits for the flash. Even still, though, Chronicle's got one back. Rolling Thunder available, the flank very far behind. And Boaster just trying to give him that little bit of extra space, maybe needed to cross. It's actually a fake. He's trying to give himself the space. The flash is good, but even still, Turco lands it. And now that flank comes through. Chronicle, Nyon surrounded, and they're looking to try and double up here. He walks into the open well. It is a ghost, but instead he's going to move forward.
I like the idea. Yeah, play outside the box, leave predictability behind. And where does he take it from here? There's so many angles to consider. The spawn, definitely the safer way to move. And that's exactly where he's going. 30 seconds on the clock. He has time to shift it all the way. And I almost start to think, you know, if Kushner decides to make a step here, if he slips up a little bit, Chronicle might use that information to leverage his way back in, grab the kill in the 1v2. But with 10 seconds left, planting on A is his only objective now.
10 seconds
Go
left.
towards spawn. There's not a lot of places that you can play post plant from there, and this is the one that you can, is the spawn. It's where they're all coming from. And where Kushner is very much ready for him to go.
Yeah, I think he was hoping that maybe he's a little bit further away, and then he can catch one of those players trying to move their way through. Because that's the thing, it's like in a 1v3, even with a Rolling Thunder, you need to isolate a duel. You need to make that one possible, otherwise they're just going to try and stick it to half and screw you out of the round.
That was interesting. It said because he started the defuse and then dashed off it, it still said that Kushner was defusing, but it wasn't. He was so quick. Bailing out of there. Well, 11-8, and you can see it in Vlad's reaction there. Definitely happy, but not overjoyed yet. It's still very much in the danger zone.
I'm starting to think they might have won more thrifty rounds than rounds.
BBL.
Yeah. The amount of times they're winning with pistols or low buys or something problematic.
I don't think it's more. I think it's very close to even. And that's almost the same.
So now we get to see if they can actually convert this in the buy round, because every single time this has happened, Fnatic have bounced back almost immediately. These aggressive starts to rounds are catching them off guard. Maybe a little bit too much for my liking, but the response in the buy rounds has been almost immediate every single time.
They're reading there's a lot more space to push through Garage than I guess they thought before. That Rolling Thunder might change their mind, leaving the spike down in the open. Those players, though, easily sidestepped it. Almost seems like a panic reaction out of BBL to throw that through. Not sure if they'll be happy with that. Aslan, he's used the turret timing to creep his way into Garage. Luckily caught. Kamek has just been stellar, but this time he falls. Boaster able to at least grab the trade, leave Leo and himself in the 2 versus 2 with Turco falling. But it's all about Kushner, 9 HP, making his way up behind them. I think they might have heard him. It looks like they're expecting it. I don't know if that's... Oh, it's not information. He's turned away. The timing becomes everything for Kushner in this round, but I think...
Well, I think Leo realizes he's got a Hunter's Fury. So it's like taking that fight, not worth the risk. Especially if you know that one of these players is low, you basically have an insta-kill in the afterplant. Even still, though, they're going to plant for that defender side. A peak potentially coming through long, being incredibly late. It seems like Boaster is checking for it, but they have no idea where these remaining defenders are.
Well, they are just playing blind on this one. Just guessing, gambling as they take the peeks, recon through. They know where Sova is, but it's all about Kushner. If he can find a player that is unaware, and there it is, there was a chance! Boaster not going to give that opportunity away again. His health so very low, 10 and 65 HP. Suchny on his way through, and I don't think the time is there for him. He has to find both of these players, and it just cannot work out. 12-8, Fnatic 1 away from pushing us to split, the decider in this series. Not somewhere we thought we'd be when we kicked off the series. We thought Fnatic 2-0 seemed to be the most likely, but BBL are really giving them a run for their money.
This was a huge round from Boaster. Just catching off Turco. It seemed like he had him dead to rights with a cheeky little angle. But instead, he comes out with a triple kill that turns that round on its head. And again, it's the same streak of back and forth rounds. No conversion available for BBL. Now they've got themselves a couple of ults to play with, but again, the same can be said for Fnatic. And Durka, you said he had a round coming, or maybe it'll be the one that closes it.
The drones caught him, but he's sticking around. He doesn't feel in any way afraid. The Rolling Thunder baited because of him sticking up so close, and you know, they're back in pretty passive positions right now. Swinging out for Suchny, not ideal. Great aftershock to put him in that awkward spot, but Kushner, the man who was almost caught by the Rolling Thunder just moments ago, could have been stuck in short and dealt with, instead delivers a deadly blow to Fnatic. The spike down on long, they have to fight for it. Kushner making sure they pay a heavy price when they do, costing them so much time even on their way back through here.
Again, slowing to a halt. Getting this spike back. I think they're expecting some sort of aggressive fight coming through from the defenders. Look at the amount of time they're taking just to clear every angle ready to get this spike, and there's nobody there. They're playing outside of the site. They've got the lockdown online, so they don't even need to really fight this right now. Not looking to give Fnatic anything back into this one. And Kamek's still holding into mid. He can hear the turret. He knows that there's still players around this angle that they haven't rotated.
It's time to get moving. And they need that kill here. Up close, Kamek. If the fight was to come through, there could be massive problems. Lockdown actually going to cause them even more. They've got to push out of the site, play way back, or go right into their face. And that's the choice. The choice is made, but The result isn't quite what they wanted off the rip. Kamek good for one, but traded out, and it leaves Boaster 50 HP. No idea where that second player is, and that's the real problem. It's being tapped, he's being baited, and a classic soul that is needed. BBL by themselves at least another round, 3 more for an overtime.
See, this is the prime sort of scenario for me, and again, myself and Lothar were talking about, is that this is a different looking BBL. They get themselves those openers, they start the round off good. Do they continue to fight? Do they try and hold on to the spike? No. They fall back, they know they have the lockdown, they know they have that capability to retake as a team. Do they want to overface, over-risk it? No, they don't. They want to make sure that they're in a position where they can play the numbers advantages, and they force Fnatic into a spot where they have to run at them head first. Well, that's where I'm going to put that Turkish aim and say they're probably going to win that fight every single time.
Fnatic 3 ultis, big ultis as well in play.
Time for a field test.
As the barriers go up here, BBL, early plan seems to be a default, quite passive, mid-control, not going to be fought for, sought for, or in any way contested. This is slow and steady wins the race from this defensive side. And look, a dangerous game to play sometimes, especially when Fnatic have those ultimates, but you know before they put them down, they're going to be fighting for map control, they're going to be scrapping for the positions to use them from.
The thing is, for BBL, they've got to break a trend. So far in this game, the most rounds they've won in a row is 2. They have not managed to streak anything more than that. They've got there first, but we know again that Fnatic have been able to turn things around. Timmy's going to go down, but again, it's just this slow default. And maybe realizing they're getting an afterplan on that B site wasn't too tough in the last round. Cosmic Divide going to go down. Straight into the site they go. Leo looking to try and basically catch players on that rotation. In fact, there's going to be a response as well. A decent amount of damage done by Suchny there. And still the plant not quite going in just yet.
Oh, he's walked in unaware. Durka with a great angle, using their Cosmic Divide against them. No one knew he'd updrafted onto that spot. And now to deal with the post plant, Fnatic down on mid, great control, playing down in their spawn, and Leo probably has a shock dart from there. We're getting a lot of damage through. The trade's not good enough for BBL. They need to find a foothold, and that they have. Down goes the lockdown. It's in play for Fnatic. It has to be destroyed, and Leo destroying them. A quick double might just put an end to this. Brave is the last man standing. He needs these kills. They're both low. It's possible, more than possible, but they can fire back. They've got the utility, they've got the time, and it's gonna be the Nano Swarm from Kamek to close out the map. Give them a chance at this series on Split. BBL playing a good game here today.